Hello, everyone out there in the void. So, today I was all set, ready to finish off that 20 movie collection, watch the last film, be done with it. But then I didn't. I watched something else. Just wasn't feeling it. So, Baby Rizzo here to talk about something entirely different. And that entirely different 2000 Maniacs. So, I had never seen this film before today, though I had seen the sequel slash remake 2001 Maniacs, but that's an entire different review, and maybe I'll get to that shortly. I'm debating whether I want to do a back-to-back on that one. I haven't quite decided yet. Because that's another... It was a fine film, but I don't know if I need to watch these two back-to-back, because, well, this one's entertaining. It's... I wouldn't call it great, so... And despite the other one having some bigger and more iconic horror names in it, I don't know if we're going to get to it for a little bit. Well, so, 2000 Maniacs. 1964, done by Herschel Gordon Lewis of Wizard of Gore fame. This was the second in his, what's called his Blood Trilogy. There's a bunch of over-the-top gore fests. Now, it's hard to call this one over-the-top in gore in this day and age, but at the time it was definitely a very bloody film, and had some pretty well-done gore effects that hold up fairly well. So I will give the movie credit in that regard. So, what is 2000 Maniacs? The South rising, literally, to ruin some people's vacation. That's pretty much it. So, in more particulars, some people are driving down the road and get detoured to Pleasant Valley, I think was the name of the town. A very southern bit of hospitality that they get going down there. Wow, that voice is terrible. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, they are told that they are now the guests of honor at their centennial celebration. And then it's been 100 years, and they want to celebrate. Now, what has it been 100 years from that they're celebrating? They're not telling ya. No. This is just too busy celebrating to go into details. Oh, it's a surprise. You'll find out tomorrow. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about a thing. Well, what that is, the surprises are mostly murder, as this town, the entire 2000 population, that's the title, is out to kill these 6 people who just happen to come through town. The 6 Yankees that they're determined to dismember in very bloody party games. Between their horse race, barrel roll, and I guess a bullseye game, they're determined to come up with some very inventive ways of dismembering these people. I mean, it's all for the barbecue. This movie, it was fun, I'll say. It's not great by any means, but in some circles it's considered a classic, and I can see why. The acting's fine, mostly because the main characters play things pretty well, but the Southerners are so over the top, it's kind of amazing. All the villainous characters are chewing the scenery to the point where I don't even know why they need a barbecue. They're going to be full after that meal. It's... I don't know how much there is really to say beyond that. I guess I will say there, what they're centennial celebrating is the Civil War. And a massacre of their village that took place then. So they're getting revenge by inviting 6 people in to break them apart. Yeah. So I haven't seen either other parts of the Blood trilogy, Blood Feast or Color Me Blood Red, but 2000 Maniacs itself, it was. I had a good time with it. It doesn't take itself seriously, and that's what really helps a film like this. Its premise is ridiculous. A bunch of over-the-top Southern people showing Southern hospitality to a bunch of Yankees. It's not art, but it's not trying to be. It's silly and it knows it's silly. It doesn't go out of its way to wink at the camera and be overly jokey, but it's more of a comedy than a horror film. And I know the sequel, 2001 Maniacs, does lean more into the comedy than this one does, but it's it's silly and but it's done with a straight face, and that kind of is what sells it. So I can give this one 3 MacGuffins. It's an entertaining ride. The gore effects are good, and just watching the villains just have a grand time. It kept me very invested in just watching what was going. And for some of the characters, I was hoping they'd find a way out of this. I will say that the box over here kind of mimics the poster, and it's a bit misleading. While all the scenes on this side here are depicted within the film, the tied up bra-clad lady, yeah, that doesn't happen. That is not something that happens in this movie. So this movie is actually fairly tame on in terms of sexuality and nudity. Some cleavage and some promiscuous talk, but beyond that, there's not really anything. It's all in the blood and gore. I think this one's unrated, but yeah, it just mentions graphic violence. That's all there is. I will say, one part that drove me crazy about this film is the opening song. I keep yelling about Yeehaw, the South's gonna rise again, because it's been in my head all day, and it's terrible. And they play it multiple times through this movie. They actually have their own band that wanders around singing Southern yarns, and they're obnoxiously catchy. So, there is that as a caution. So, that's one warning out of this movie. You will get obnoxious Southern propaganda songs in your head. South's gonna rise again. But I don't blame the movie itself. The movie is fine. I don't know if I have anything else to go into on this one. It's an over-the-top, entertaining murder fest. If that sounds like your cup of tea, you'll get some mileage out of this one. It's not art. It doesn't want to be art. It just wants to be a good old romp. And it is. So, take that as you will. 2000 Maniacs. Alright, I'll try to see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully I get a chance to get everything recorded. Been doing pretty good so far. Until then, have a good night, everybody.